had this chin mount now on for about 2 weeks. I used it for 3 days. Extensive use, on off, 10 plus hours days on it. It's holding on pretty well. The reason I like this mount was because of the flexibility ability on it. I'll give you some of the pros and cons about the mount. One thing I didn't like about this setup was that I had to use an extra piece in order to get the view that I wanted. If I mounted it on directly to here without that piece, it was hitting too much of the bike. It wasn't getting more of a POV view that I was looking for. I wouldn't mind having to use this setup doing solo rides. So in order to get a better view when recording, I had to use the extender up. Now I'm using 2 adjustment pieces, which with the other piece it was just kind of like set it and forget it. And I'll show you that later on in the video. Kind of like the issue, like once I set it, I like to forget it and just be able to record. Once I got it on the extender, I was able to get a better view of riding. With the extender, I could never get it tight enough to hold in position. So I felt like the camera would move. And even if I try to tighten, that's as tight as I could get it. And I don't know, I just never felt confident enough to be like, all right, I'm getting the shot that I want. Versus the other mount that I was able to just set it and forget it. I mean, it held on really well, and it's the flexibility of having it mold to your helmet was great. It's clean, it's a nice clean look, but it's just not gonna work for me for the chin part. Now for the rear, it did a really good job. I had to use this GoPro mount, which I set it off where it fell flush for rear shots that I want. Now with the motor rides, I mean, that's a clean set right there. I mean, it molded onto the rear very well. I was able to get the camera pointed up, screwed down, and it held really nice in place. Not using the extender, it did not move around. So for the rear, it's definitely staying on. I'm gonna be removing this one. There's no use for it, but for the rear, motor rides for the win, for sure. So this is the LS2 that I was using previously, and I had it mount from chin mounts, which worked very well. The only downside to it is that with the GoPro clip, after a while, it got loose. So that was the only downside, that it rattles after a while. This mount is from Chin Mounts. This is the one that I took off to put the motor rides on. The reason I started looking for something else was because when they shipped me this one out, I could never securely put it, so it was too tight. Versus the LS2 helmet, that after a while, it just gave some way. I mean, I wasn't afraid that it was going to fly off, but I could just never lock it in place. So that's kind of like what had me looking for something else. Chin Mounts did come out with a new revised chin mount for the Scorpion EXO-R1. So I did go ahead and order that. It sucked because it was only a couple months of use, and I had to replace it, and it was $35. And this is the new chin mount. It also came with the safety teeter thing. In case the camera falls, it'll hold on to that. It's my 3rd mount from Chin Mounts, the first time it comes with it. But chin mounts for the chin, and I'm gonna go with motor rides for the rear, which I think is gonna work out. Chin Mounts doesn't make anything for the back of your helmet. That's pretty much it. If there's anything about this video that you like,